My mom will actually send me to the school to get beaten, to get caned.
Send you?
Yeah. Like if you don't do your homework and your mom, you don't do your homework, you just go play, she's just watching you. And then morning that you have to go to school, in the morning you have to go to school, then you go to hide to do your homework. When she catches you, you just have to stop the homework, she'll send you to school herself and tell the teacher that you didn't do your homework till now. So every time you make sure that your homework is done.
That's some serious discipline right there. Actually, primary school is like one of the best years of my life. I feel like I had so much fun in primary school as opposed to high school.
In high school, I think I did 8 subjects.
8?
Yeah.
From start to finish 8?
From start to finish 8.
Wow. In high school for me, I started with about 16.
16 courses.
About.
For the teachers' house and the punishments, oh my God, I can't go there. There was so much discipline. There was so much discipline in Ghana. The teacher will come to the class, the whole class will be making noise, a lot of noise. Everybody's head will be on the table. Everybody will take canes on their back. Like you put your head on the desk like this.
Wow. And you just get the cane for your back like that?
Yeah, your back. Pop, 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 pop. Everybody. This video is based on our personal experience. So if you have any other suggestions, you have any other facts, just put it in the comment section.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. This is Rich and Anna. Now in today's video, we'll be talking about the differences in our education system as it relates to Jamaica and Ghana. Let's get right into it. I started school at 3 years old. I went to basic school, but prior to that I actually went to daycare. So in daycare, it's not school, it's just someone taking care of you. Maybe your mom has work, so you can go to daycare. So from there, I moved to primary school, daycare, basic school, then primary school. We started primary school at 7. I started at 7, and we go up to grade 6. Actually, primary school is like some of the best years of my life. I feel like I had so much fun in primary school as opposed to high school. I feel like when I went to high school, it was more rigorous. You know, the work was a lot. You had to be studying for so many exams. For primary school though, in grade 4 we have numeracy and literacy. That's something that we had to like prepare for. I think like from grade 3 we were preparing, doing like mock exams, mock tests and so on. I remember there was this teacher, I don't remember her name at this time, but she used to take us outside of the classroom to sit outside and just be giving us all past papers to practice, like she would drill us. So I don't know if we actually learned or if it's a case where we studied the answers of past examinations. So in grade 4 we do numeracy and literacy, and then from there we go to grade 5. Grade 6 is where we do CXC. At the time when I did it, it was CXC, but I think since then they've changed the name to CSEC. And for this also, you have to do mock tests. This one, the mock test, you get it plenty. A lot of mock tests, I'm telling you.
For the CSEC?
Yeah, because this is what determines the high school that you would go to. And a lot of students, they have preferences as it relates to which school they'd want to go. I don't know how many months in advance, I don't remember at this time, but the teacher would send like a package to your parents. So you'd get it to take home and they would have to choose your schools. So you choose based on average. So maybe for the first one, you can pick a school with high average, and you come down to a lower average school. So maybe you start at 90 average and you come down to maybe 70. It just depends on the student or the child, for example. Because if you are a person who generally gets 80 average, then when you're choosing your schools, you can pick based on that. A lot of kids, they choose, some students, they choose like where their friends are going. So, my friend is picking this school, so I want to pick this school, so I stay close to my friend. Or maybe my sister went to this school, so I want to pick that, just to, follow the trend or whatever. Or just because some students pick it for simple reasons such as, oh, I like the uniform, so I want to go to that school. Yeah, so you get to pick 5. Yeah, you pick 5, and then when you do the CXC exams now, you basically, after a while, you get like your average. Not your average, you'll get your pass to say, okay, you've passed for such and such, you passed for such and such. So the teacher will come and announce it on that day. And that day we'll like celebrate. It will be a whole celebration. I remember I still have my uniform where all my friends wrote on it. So we would, on that day, it's almost like the last day of school, and we'd write on each other's shirts, we'd play water war with like balloons and stuff and throw on each other. It was really fun.
Did you go through your whole primary school, so CSEC, in one school?
Yeah. So it's grade 1 to grade 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You went into the same school?
Same school.
Oh, okay.
St. Aloysius Primary School.
Aloysius Primary School.
Yeah, it's a Catholic school.
Big up to you, Aloysius.
It's a very good school too. Very good school.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
What about you?
Before I went to primary school, I was 6 years old. I entered kindergarten at 6 years old.
Primary.
So primary, yeah, we have from primary 1 to primary 6. So from primary 1 to primary 6, I changed a lot of schools. I started school at Smart International School. Smart International School in Dakuman. I'm not sure you know the locations, but those watching might know. And then we changed location because we used to rent. We changed location to another place. So I changed my school to, I think, Zoe European Academy. And then I went on to Ebibiman Complex Schools. And then I changed school to Ave Maria. I went to Ave Maria in Dansoman. I think I came back to Ebibiman Complex School. Finally completed at Cradle of Grace Montessori School.
6 years and you changed so many schools?
No, this from primary 1 to JHS3. That is around 9 years.
Oh, that's
Cradle
still
of
a lot
Grace.
of changes.
Yeah. The reason why I changed school so much was I think my parents, they were just looking at the quality, yeah, and they wanted something that is very challenging for me.
And do you think that it was beneficial?
It was absolutely beneficial because these are the benefits. Although I changed schools, but I got into contact with so many different characters, so many different mindsets, so many different ways of doing things. Do you get it? So it kind of boosts my confidence in any environment because you keep on changing environments and you know how things are done in any other environments. It's like you have some kind of experience.
Yeah,
You
that's
get it?
true. And I think the teaching styles may have been different
The
because you
teaching
also
styles-
went to Montessori.
Exactly. Yeah, the teaching styles were different actually.
Yeah.
You get it? But what helped was that, in Ghana, from primary 1 to GHS3, we use the same curriculum. Like, it doesn't change from school to school. So, one school cannot say that I'm doing my curriculum is different. Unless it's a special school. Like, there are special schools in Ghana that do British curriculum only, or American curriculum. Those are different. You get it? But the normal school, we do the same curriculum. You get it? So, from primary 1 to GHS3. So, in GHS3, we sit for a national exam called the Basic Education Certificate Examination. So I sat for that around 2010.
Well, that was like what age?
I sat for it around 12, 13 years.
12, 13 years.
Yeah, because I started school very early. So I started 6 years old, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
That's up to like junior high that you did that?
Yeah, like junior high school.
So in primary school, there's no examinations that you guys do?
No. In primary school, from primary 1 to primary 6, there's no exam to go to junior high school. Yeah, so you just transition to junior high school. We normally have terminal examinations for every class. So maybe from primary 1, there's a terminal examination every term.
Yeah, we have that too.
And in the third term, we promote those who are doing well in primary 1 to primary 2.
Yeah,
just like that.
We have that.
And then it continues from primary 6 to JHS1 to JHS2, JHS3. When you reach JHS3, that is when you have to transition to the senior high school. That is when we sit for a national exam. And I think by the time I wrote just about 7 subjects because it used to be 10, but in 2010 there was a reform where they combined certain courses into one. So for example, pre-technical skills and home economics were combined into one subject called basic design and technology. And then I think religious and moral education was taken off. Yeah, I think so. Before you write the BEC, you're like in Jamaica, your parents will be sent a package. You have to send. They will send a list. Your parents will be prompted to choose senior high schools for you. And senior high schools, they are listed based on categories, and every category has a number you can choose. For example, category A schools, you can choose just one. Category B schools, you can just choose just 2 or something like that. So my parents chose the schools for me. I remember I chose Pesek Legon as category A, and I chose Koforidua Sectec as category B, and category C and D I don't remember. And based on my grade and based on the course that I chose, Pesek didn't admit me because I had like 0.9 aggregate 9. it was Koforidua Secretary that admitted me to come do general science. So that's where I completed school. So that is how the process is. My process was to senior high school, and then after senior high school, I chose to go to University of Ghana to read agricultural science.
So that's up to high school, then you're transitioning into university.
Exactly.
So in high school, you're doing 7 subjects?
No, in high school, I think I did 8 subjects.
8?
Yeah.
From start to finish 8?
From start to finish 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
In high school for me, I started with about 16.
16 courses.
About maths, English, literature, drama, music, swimming, PE, religious education, library skills, science, Spanish, French, home economics, like sewing and then some of the art. We used to do art. Yeah, it was about 16. I've just counted 14 right now.
In senior high school?
We just call it high school, but at grade 7. So I was actually shocked.
At grade 7?
Yeah.
Oh, that's junior high school.
Junior high school for you?
Yeah. That's JHS.
So when we leave primary school, we get our passes, we transition to high school now, grade 7. When we went there, like friends that I met at that time, we were also, it was like shock because we're just coming from like 8 subjects in primary school. In primary school, you don't do much. And then we come now, we're doing 16. Like I remember my backpack at that time was so heavy. The school I went to, we actually had lockers. They started to implement lockers, but they weren't able to put enough lockers there for everybody. So you had some students who had like pulley bags, those bags with wheels. Yeah, it was a lot. It really was a lot. And then now we go up to grade 9 where...
Yeah, so grade 9 is the senior high school in Ghana.
In Ghana, okay. So like up to grade 9 now, you get to choose subjects. I think at that time too, we do a test. You do some tests. Like there's always some tests along the way to like, test you, make sure that you're on your toes and stuff.
Wait, I'm saying grade 7, 8, 9. No, grade 9 will be junior high school 3, like the final junior high school 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so up to grade 9 now, we choose subjects. So similar to in the last year of primary school where you get a package, you'd also get a package in that grade 9 where we send home and you get to choose your subjects. So from the 16 that you were doing all along, you'll choose to narrow it down to like 8 or 9, because when you're doing CXC in most schools you get to choose 8 or 9 subjects. So you'd either be choosing business courses or business subjects, sciences, or a mix of both. And you had the option to choose a foreign language or not do a foreign language. So in my case, I actually did business. I did the business courses like marketing, principle of business, accounting, all those things.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So in Ghana, it's quite similar. So in senior high school, you'll also be allowed to choose a course. And each course has subjects under it. But in those subjects, we have core subjects that everyone does. Whether you do home economics, whatever you do, you're going to do those core subjects. It is the elective subjects that differentiates courses. You get it? So for example, we have general science, we have business, we have visual arts, we have people who do technical, like people who do like woodwork, building and construction, metal work, especially those who go to technical schools. Those courses are also over there. And then we have people who do general arts, So in senior high school in Ghana, you are streamlined to a certain direction. You don't mix everything. So science students, they know that they are going to the science field. General art students, you know that they are going to the arts field, what relates to journalism, social sciences and all that. And so in high school, you already know the direction where you are going. You are not confused at all from start.
That's good.
You get it. Yeah, and the courses are the same, so you complete.
Well, we start with everything, and then halfway through we kind of separate. But you mentioned electives and core subjects. We do have core too, or core subjects would basically be maths and English. That was mandatory for everyone to do, but then you pick everything else.
So I think the number of years is the same.
Similar, it's
not even similar. It's the same. The number of years is the same. And then I think the courses, for example, in Ghana, in senior high school, English language, we have literature in English language, but we don't separate it.
Oh, we separate.
You get it. So it's the same English language, but you have literature inside. You have oral English, everything, all kinds of English in the English language. And I think we have physical education too on the timetable, but we don't write exam on its in the final exam.
I get it. Like when we start in grade 7, PE, physical education, religious education, those are subjects. And we have to pay attention and actually, even for physical education, running around the field, learning how to swim, because we'll get grade for it and it will be a part of our average.
Yeah.
So we count it.
We don't count it. You might count it based on the term. Like the term, maybe in senior high school 1, term 3, you might count. But when you write WASI is the final exam in senior high school, West African Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination. It is for West Africa. Nigeria also partakes, all West African schools, they partake in that examination. So it's quite broad. In WASI, we have fixed subjects that we do. PE is not one of it. So you have core subjects and elective subjects. For example, so me, I did 8 subjects. For the core, I did core mathematics, integrated science, social studies, and I did English language as my core subjects. That one you can't. Everybody in senior high school would have to do these 4 as their core. Then electives differ. For example, my electives were elective mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology. Because I was a general science student. So those are my courses.
You've been liking science since that time.
Yeah, because Ghana, it streamlines you to a certain direction, so your mind is tuned to a certain direction. You get it. So from the onset in BC, like I mentioned, whether if you are someone who is enthused in science, you go in that direction. And mostly people that feel like they are sharp, they are brilliant, they want to go into science. But I've seen so many people who are very sharp, who want to do technical, who want to do visual arts. You get it? Yeah. So that is how it is.
So later on in life, if you decide that that's not what you want, then you don't.
You can branch.
You can branch.
Yeah. For example, me, if I want to go into computer science, or there's even science, maybe computer engineering, I can still branch into computer engineering. With teaching styles in Ghana, I'm not a teacher though, but this is what I saw when I was growing up. Teachers, there's a set curriculum, So in a term, every class is supposed to do a number of topics in every subject. So in the term, teachers prepare the topics and then prepare their lesson notes, and they teach the students based on the lesson notes. And the teaching approach is basically you being able to absorb and recall. So the one who is able to recall very well is the best student.
Yeah, that is true.
Not really proper understanding. The one who's able to recall is the best student.
Yeah, and I mentioned that earlier when I was saying that we practiced the past papers so much. I don't know if we actually learned or we just memorized the answers.
We also have the same thing, like where we go to pass, especially when we are writing the final examinations like the BEC and the WASI. Past questions we just go through because they tend to repeat.
Yeah, they repeat.
Yeah, they tend to repeat questions.
And sometimes the questions are the same. Like for when we're in grade 6 practicing the mock to go to high school, and also when we're practicing for 6E, we practice past papers. I'm telling you, right now at home in Jamaica, I have a bag with past papers from basic school to primary, even high school. There's no technology in the class.
Okay. For me, it depends on the school.
Yeah, it probably depends on the school.
There are schools that are very advanced and there are schools that are not so advanced. Even in Ghana, as of now, some schools still use blackboards, but I'm not sure there will be much because now everybody has transformed into a white marker board. But when I was in school, even though some schools used to use blackboard some time ago, long time ago, the school that I went, most of it were using white marker board. You get it? So it depends on the school. You get it?
When I was going to school, we were using blackboards. But when we went to high school, we had whiteboards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then now for university, you'll have like those, what do you call them, like projector type of things, so that the lecturer can say whatever they need to say. It's more them giving us information and we trying to recall it, like just as you said, just trying to memorize it. Although when you go to university, it's a bit different, because you kind of have to do like case studies and research and stuff like that. Learning. So it's more
in depth.
Yeah. But
Excellent.
prior to that,
Yeah, but still with the technology, we still didn't have touch screens, which were
Yeah.
like common here in China, where like primary schools they have touch screens and they could play sound and all that. We didn't have that,
Yeah.
you know. And even in our laboratories, like when I went to high school, we had one of the best sector. We have like very good laboratories, but I think the equipment was still not enough based on the number of students and the number of laboratories. The labs were there, but there were very few as compared to the number of students.
I could also speak on that too, because I actually did integrated science. So with my business courses, I did one science subject. And in the lab, we just had one lab. We just had one lab. And I feel like they could have had more. Maybe three.
Yeah.
Maybe three.
Yeah, but I think there are some schools that have a lot of labs and are quite comfortable.
And even
but
it's,
not all
it's,
schools.
it's one lab, but it's not so big, you know. It's just normal size. So yeah, but we all had the equipment that we needed though. But I feel like schools could do more as relates to maybe having some tablets. In Jamaica, they actually started this program. I think the government started it where they were trying to give tablets to students in some schools and stuff. I don't know how that worked out. They were not able to give everybody, but I feel like that's something that kids should have access to. Because, you know, like in my high school, we had the one library with just few computers. So you go there, someone is already at the computer, you have to wait a long time to gain access. And that's one of the reasons why my mom tried her best to get me a computer so that I would have one at home. But not everyone would be able to do that.
Yeah,
not every parent.
the government in Ghana also. I remember when I was in high school, I had a government laptop. Yeah, it was RLG. Those of you watching, you might remember. The government was a government of Ghana project where they shared laptops. RLG was just a basic laptop where you could use to do like basic functions. And I think recently they were saying I heard something about there's a policy where they are sharing tablets to children or whatever like that. So the government is always putting efforts to share some of those things, but I think the workload is huge.
They are trying, but in Jamaica, as I recall, a lot of people, even though they were trying to issue the tablets, a lot of people still had issue because they're saying, oh, maybe my community doesn't have reliable light, and you know, giving tablets and I don't have Wi-Fi, so there's still something to iron out.
Yeah, that is with the tech, but the teaching style, I think, is quite similar in a lot of places.
Yeah.
Like the teaching style, the recall, even in advanced countries, you still have to have the ability to recall. The teaching style in Ghana has helped me a lot. Go anywhere and study.
Yeah, definitely.
Without difficulty, because the teaching was quite rigorous. You should be able to absorb, and the period of time is also limited. Like there's a period of time where you have to, because we have, like I told you, we have topics that we have to cover within every term.
Yeah.
And within the term, you have to absorb it. And at the end of your 3 years in senior high school, you have to recall all of what you've learned from.
Yeah. In Jamaica too. Jamaica, the education system in Jamaica, it's hardcore stuff. Like I will give them that hands down. Like the things that even when I went to college, when I went to university, the things that I was learning in my first year, I had already learned some of that already in high school, in the business courses. I had already learned some already. You get me? Like it's serious stuff.
But I think as people progress, especially like in the senior high school, we should be able to give more focus to streamline on what the person wants to do. You know, instead of still bombarding them with a lot of courses. You know, for example, that's why I give Ghana thumbs up with that. So you focus on your science area. You know, you're streaming. So because you're already becoming an adult, you are becoming an adult and you know what you want to do. You know, so they bringing in other things. You could also learn other things.
That's at what age? Junior high school?
Not junior high school, senior high school.
Yeah, but remember, the way how you classify it is different. You know, I'm just coming from primary school. I don't have any information about business subjects. I don't have any information about science subjects, technical subjects. So the fact that we start grade 7 with all the subject areas,
that's the first one.
Yeah, we get to say, okay, these are the subjects. Let me see what I'm good at. Let me see where my interest lies. So I have no problem with them starting us off with all these subjects because we only do it for basically 3 years, right? How we pick at grade 9. So I think it's okay because the way how you just go in with science, I couldn't have said, okay, let me go in with science.
No, that is senior high school. That's senior high school.
Yeah, so it's just classified different.
In grade 7, we do the same things from grade 1. It's just that the topics build up and the complexity increases. So, for example, in integrated science, I think they do general science. Yeah, I think they do science, I think science, I don't know what it is right now. But integrated science, they are just topics. So as you move from class to class, they build up. So you start going maybe soil and then something. So it just builds up till JHS 3. And then at JHS 3, everyone should be able to know what they're actually interested in. For the teaching styles and the punishments, oh my God, I can't go there. There was so much discipline. In Ghana schools. But now it's been relaxed. Yeah, but those times it helps us a lot. We thought they were just worrying us.
You guys were getting beaten?
Yeah, you get caned.
Caned?
Yeah, there's a cane, you know.
Like each teacher has a cane?
Each teacher has a cane. Some teachers don't like to cane, but normally that was a normal punishment.
A cane?
Yeah, a cane. Yeah, and it helped us a lot.
You think it helped you getting caned?
Yeah, because the discipline, because you knew that there were certain things you wouldn't tend to do.
So aren't there students who would do it anyways, even though the cane is there and they don't care?
There were very few.
Very few.
Very few. And sometimes in high school, such students, they were expelled from the school. Because if you cannot, they were expelled. It means that you can't comply to discipline. It means that with the discipline they are giving you, you're just not complying. They have to send you somewhere else, maybe in a Bosca home or something.
Wow.
Yeah, but these are disciplinary measures that helped us. You knew that your thinking was right. You made sure every time your thinking is right and you are disciplined, especially in high school, you learn to lay your bed, because if you don't lay your bed, you'll be in trouble. You learn to do certain things that we were not accustomed to.
Well, that's for boarding school. You went to boarding school.
Yeah, I went to boarding school. Yeah.
For me, I didn't go to boarding school, so I would go home every day. In primary school, some teachers would slap you in your hand like this. Yeah.
In your hand?
Yeah.
Not even at the back of your hand?
Some teachers might do the back.
Yeah.
But I never get punishment like what you say, get cane. I remember there was this one teacher, Miss Watson, never forget her name. She was a temporary teacher at the time, and then she later became a permanent teacher. She said, when she stepped out of the class and the class became noisy, when she came back, she said, we must stretch our hand like this. Yeah, and I was so adamant. People were very stubborn. Like, I was very stubborn growing up. My mother can't tell you, me very stubborn. I said, me nah stretch out my hand. Like, I wasn't talking to her. I never said anything to her or anything. But when the students were stretching out their hand, I just stand up there. Because me never talk. And I don't see how you're supposed to come inside of the classroom and find out who did a talk. Me never did a talk, so why are you supposed to stretch out my hand?
You are in the class, so normally in Ghana, what we do is that we have class prefects. The class prefect will write names of people who are talking.
Yes, some teachers did do that too, but she never did that. And at the time, I wasn't even well. I was sick. I was not well. My head was on the desk.
Okay. You were sick, okay.
And I'm like, why am I supposed to do this?
Yeah, but if you're sick, that is okay. But in Ghana, I'm talking about high school, because in primary school it's just cane. Like if you don't write your notes, if you come to school late, you still get cane. But in high school, because we were maturing in high school, the punishments were higher.
You get cane because you come to school late?
Yeah. Why would you come to school late?
When we did not come to school late, we joined the late line.
And do what?
Just join the late line.
Just stand there and join the late line?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what my school did anyways.
Okay, maybe in your school. Maybe, because when let me talk about high school. When we went to high school, those times, like, although there were some bullies, but it's not about the bullying. You know, there were some disciplinary actions that were just on its course. You get it. So even though it was a boys' school, imagine all of these disciplinary actions. People still did wrong things. People still were stubborn. So imagine if there was nothing like that, or the disciplinary actions were just zero. You get it. A teacher will come to the class, the whole class, we are making noise, a lot of noise. Everybody's head will be on the table. Everybody will take canes on their back. Like, you put your head on the desk like this.
Wow. And you just get the cane for your back like that?
Yeah, your back, pop, 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 everybody.
Wow.
You know? And some guys, what we do is that, or what most of us do is that when the class is getting noisy, some of us will just go out of the class. We just run. We just go out of the class because we know that trouble is coming. And when the teacher comes,
you weren't there.
I wasn't there. You get it. I'm somewhere. So that was how we were. And then in boarding school, I learned so many things. Like I learned to do so many things for myself. So many things. I learned to lay my bed, iron my school uniform to go to school, wash my clothes, make sure my clothes are not dirty. Like these are things that we learned
in boarding school,
like the hard way. Even though we were taught at home, but at home you are just reluctant sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
But boarding school you have to, because you have class to go, you know, and you learn how to keep your things well, because if you don't keep them well, somebody will steal it. Yeah, someone will steal it, because the person also needs it. So you learn how to keep your things very well. You get it, and you learn how to be respectful to elders, because you have to respect your seniors, because they are seniors. You get it. So you learn a whole lot of life skills, life disciplinary skills that would help you. You know, that is not even that is apart from the courses that they are doing. The courses you are doing are just academic, but apart from the academic, you learn life skills also. You get it?
I get it.
You know, you have to always trim your hair, look neat, look presentable.
When I was going to high school, we got suspension, or you got expelled for certain things, you know, and we had day of silence. Anybody watching this would know what early childhood should supposed to know. We used to get day of silence. So like if certain class was noisy, or the school, maybe you did something, there was a problem. The principal would announce that, okay, on Monday, June 9th, you'll have day of silence.
What grade was that?
From grade 7 to grade 11, and also the people that wear the cape.
Oh, okay.
You just sit in the classroom, so you cannot move, you cannot nothing.
You from grade 11, that's when you went to university?
Yeah, because I never did cape, but you can do cape from 12 to 13.
12 to 13, let me see. So 6, 7, 8. So, no, I think our years are much more than yours.
Your years much more?
Yeah, because for our years are much more till you get to university, because primary 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that is primary school. And then junior high school 1, junior high school 2, junior high school 3. And then you go to senior high school 1, senior high school 2, senior high school 3, before you can go to university. So that's
13.
A number of years. Yes, that's 13. So I think that is a lot of years than Jamaica. Yeah, I think, but those who do Cape, maybe
it's not more. We
more.
have 6 primary school, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6 and 5, 11.
But I was 13. So I think the Cape.
Yeah, the Cape is what would equal it out.
Exactly. The Cape is what would. And what's the Cape?
That's an additional examination. Some students do it depending on the program that you want to do in high school. In university, you will need to do Cape.
Oh, okay.
You know, so maybe you'll have like advanced math. Some advanced something, you know, but I never did that. I just went straight into university.
I think that's the difference. I think in Ghana, everybody does Cape. You have to do.
And you know, in Jamaica, back in the days, people used to get the caning, you know, like the whipping and stuff.
Back in the days.
But over time, the parents them like, cause maybe some teachers want to overdo it, you know, and it became a thing where I remember one time on the news, a parent went to the school to try and fight the teacher, because how dare you to hit my child? Is it your child? You know, that kind of attitude. So they don't really do that.
Yeah, in Ghana now they don't do that anymore. But we are just talking about us. When we were in school, it used to be, and it helped me. I wouldn't even lie about that. And sometimes my mom will actually send me to the school to get beaten, to get caned.
Send you?
Yeah. Like if you don't do your homework, and your mom, you don't do your homework, you just go play. She's just watching you. And then morning that you have to go to school, in the morning you have to go to school. Then you go to hide to do your homework. When she catches you, you just have to stop the homework. She'll send to school herself and tell the teacher that you didn't do your homework till now. So every time, you make sure that your homework is done.
That's some serious discipline right there.
We're just always on our toes like that. Like you kept us on our toes like that, and give us like a sense of responsibility. Like we knew that we're going to this. Like it was a sense of responsibility like that.
I get it.
You get it. Yeah, but now there's not much punishment. I don't know how it is going so far, but I think they also have their own reasons why they are not. Although some teachers used to overdo it, but some teacher, when you overdo it and the evidence is there, and you are caught, the teacher could get expelled. Like the teacher could get sacked. You know. So even the teachers administer punishments, it was in a certain proportion. You get it?
I just can't imagine going to school and just lying like this on the desk for teacher to whip my back.
Maybe.
Maybe because you guys
if you don't do
boys.
anything, if you don't do anything, nobody will beat you. If you don't do anything, you will not get punished.
So there was never a time where the whole class would get it, even though some among you were innocent.
So sometimes the class prefect will just write names of talkatives. So when the teacher comes and says the class, mostly they will ask where is the names of talkatives? Class prefect. If the class prefect doesn't have, everybody will get punished. If the class prefect has, it just mentions the name. So I remember sometime.
That means you guys, you will not like the class prefects then.
Yeah. So I remember sometime the class prefect, when the teacher said, so immediately when people are making noise and it's getting so much, he'll just write some names, people's names, so that no one ever.
How do you guys know he writes he writes people's name who he just don't like?
Yeah, sometimes it's like that. But sometimes he genuinely writes the names of talkatives, like those, and there are people whose names are always on it because they don't care about the king.
Okay.
You get it? There are people like that. They don't care about it. Every time they get beaten, but they don't care about the king.
The talking is more sweet.
You see, there are certain behaviors that require more punishment. The caning is not just enough. So people would be sent to go weed.
Weed.
Weed with cutlass.
Oh really?
That was usual. That was normal, like in the senior high school. You weed, you give you a plot of land, you weed, a piece, you weed. Sometimes you push garbage, you do certain chores, you go to the dining hall, you pack the pantry. Like there were certain punishments. Some people were sent out of class for a number of days.
That's like suspension, yeah?
Yeah, we have internal and external suspension. Internal suspension, you stay in the school.
I just remember something in Holy Childhood. Actually, we had a black uniform. So sometimes a student, for example, might do something really bad, and instead of sending her home, they would change her uniform to black. So she'd have to wear a full black tunic.
That's all.
And it would be like public shame.
Then you gotta, like, the whole school wear black.
Really?
All of us will be in black. If that's the punishment. I'm telling you, we'll all be in black.
No.
You just wear black uniform.
Yeah, that is it. It's public shame.
Imagine coming to Governmental Sector and the punishment is wearing black. Like, all of us will be in black. We didn't deter people at all.
Really?
Especially in all boys school.
I think because you guys were boys, maybe in the girls' school in Ghana is different.
There's still discipline in girls' school because some of the girls are very stubborn. People leave school without permission. They jump wall.
I forgot the thing when I was in Ghana. I noticed too the girls without hair.
Yeah, that is a very broad topic. The girls without hair, from the explanation of the Ministry of Education, they said the girls would lose concentration when they have hair on, like they have different hairstyles.
So they only do this in schools where there's girl and boy, so that they don't get distracted by the boys.
No, not by the boys, by themselves.
By themselves.
Like, where you have to do, because the way most of them were in boarding house, and even if you're not in boarding house, like you wake up, you have to comb your hair or braid your hair, make sure your hair is ready. But when it's down, when it's bowed, when you wake up, you just comb it quickly and then you get to class.
I get it.
That was the rationale behind it. When you are coming to the school, they give you a perspective. They give you do's and don'ts.
When I was going to school, they would just lock the gate on you.
Where?
Like they would just lock you outside of the school
and go home.
Yeah, you just go home.
Then the school will be empty. Oh my God.
Babe.
Even when there's no punishment, people don't want to come to school already.
And the parents, so when you come home, your parents will not say, but usually these are students with parents who
exactly.
They also don't set an example.
They might also be tired of him already.
The parents
might be tired of the student.
Of their child, you mean?
Exactly. Because he has done more than, because if you find a student who is so troublesome, trust me, he's also very troublesome at home.
Yeah, but I feel like it depends, because for example, in Holy Child, our skirt had to be mid-calf. Right?
The skirt was long to here.
Yeah, it had to be. So just imagine you come to school with a short skirt. Now, how did you end up with this short skirt? Because your parent is the one responsible for making your uniform, getting your uniform made. So that means your parent is also a problem, right?
Yeah, so parents also have a role to play.
Exactly.
Actually.
You know that you shouldn't come to school with extensions, but at the same time, you have a girl coming to school with extension. How is that possible? Is the parent not setting proper example foundation at home? You get me? So usually if they are supposed to send home a student, like when they close the gate and say go home, change your skirt, go home and do your hair well or whatever, I'm not sure it achieves anything because obviously there is a problem at home. You get me?
Yeah, but the problem at home is not. It's not their. It's not. I always say it's their problem. Their problem is you have to follow their rules. If you don't want to follow your rules at home, you are in a new home. You are in a new home. You have to follow, or go back to the home where you can do that.
Yeah.
That is the rule of I think every school. So in Ghana, when they're coming, they give you what we call prospectus. What you have to buy, things you have to buy, and then do's and don'ts. They tell you all of that from the beginning. If you can't do it, go back home.
Yeah, same. We get a handbook. Everybody gets a handbook.
Good. Yes. So punishments and stuff, they've already told you. So you already signed up to be under the punishment and everything.
You have parents who take to social media and say, "Look on me boy, look on him clothes, them send him home. See where I wear," as if they don't have the rule book. They don't know that this is
so sometimes
not
parents. Sometimes the parents are the problem.
Yeah,
you get it.
Definitely.
I wouldn't blame parents 100%, but sometimes the parents are the problem. You get it. Yeah, because you've sent your school your child to be educated, not schooled.
Yeah.
So the education has a lot of things, not only the academic work. There's other things that the school teaches you. For example, when you are in boarding house, you are supposed to go for breakfast, lunch, and dining.
So they teach you about time.
There's a time on it. When you miss the time, it's finished.
That's good.
You get it. So these are things that you learn in boarding house. So that is basically the teaching style in Ghana, and I love the teaching style also in Jamaica.
The teaching style and the punishment.
But now it's not much. It's not there anymore.
Yeah, the punishment in Jamaica too. But before, definitely, I think maybe they were getting caned and stuff.
Yeah, and this helped us fit in a lot of places. You know, because you can go to America because you are so much disciplined. Like you are so disciplined that there's a lot of focus.
You
on
can
the academic
fit in
work.
anywhere.
Exactly. So it builds you up to be like a foreman, you know, or a forewoman. English is the language of communication in every school in Ghana. That is the official language of Ghana, and in school you're supposed to speak English language. However, there are subjects, especially in primary school and junior high school, you could do local languages, and even senior high school there are people who do local languages. You know, so for example, there's a period for local languages. Some are learning Dange, some are learning Twi, Gan. I remember in certain times in my life in Ghana, there were times I did Gan. I did Gan, and there are times I did Twi. You know?
I actually thought that you guys just learned Twi at home, like from your parents.
Yeah, mostly we speak Twi at home. You don't speak Twi at school, but there are periods left for local language study. Where you go into the local languages proper.
In Jamaica, we just learn English, and if you're doing a foreign language, then you do French and Spanish.
Yeah.
French because you don't do both.
Yeah, we also do French. Most of schools we do French too. Yeah, French, but I don't know Spanish. It depends on school to school, but additional languages like French, Spanish, German, some schools do it, but it's not part of the whole curriculum. But French, I remember I did French, and I wrote French. Yeah. In BEC, I wrote French, so my French is quite good. So in Ghana, we do French. Yeah, we do French.
And that for us, the French and Spanish is even high school level.
High school level.
Yeah, but throughout we just learn English. We don't. Patois is just something is informal. You speak that outside.
Yeah, in Ghana, if you speak local language in school, its term is vernacular, and you get punished for it. In some schools. Yeah, when you speak in school, when it's not time for local language and you speak it, you get punished.
Wow.
Yeah. So it gave us mastery because already you are speaking local language at home. It gave us mastery at the English language, even without the English language.
I feel like that's good, and I feel like speaking the local language at school would have been chaos because you all speak different local languages.
Exactly. It's not like unless maybe Ghana makes one local language the standard. So for example, Ghana will say all of us are speaking Ewe. For example, in China, there are like Haiyan. We have Haiyan dialects. We have Beijing dialects. But the government says that everybody is supposed to speak Mandarin.
Yeah.
That is the standard. You know, so that one like that, even though they are speaking Chinese, but there's a standard Mandarin. Chinese people have different languages.
Yeah.
You get it. But in Ghana, we have different languages, but we've not set a standard language where everybody could speak. and English is the official one.
So
and
just
I
stick
feel
to
like
that.
it's a balance.
Yeah.
You have a fair share of English at school, and you have a fair share of local language at home. So there's a balance. You are fully prepared. You could fit anywhere. And also, in addition of the French and also German and other things, you could also fit in a lot of places.
That's great. That's great. When I was going to school, we had a lot of board desk. Like in primary school, we have board desk. Like the desks are made of board. Like 2 people can sit in it. But sometimes they might have some little splinters, some loose splinters. I feel like we didn't have certain resources to do more.
That's the challenges.
Yeah, I feel like that's a challenge straight across the board in Jamaica.
Yeah, I think in Ghana we have public schools and private schools. Public schools are schools set up by the government, and private schools are schools set up by private entities or individuals.
We have seen.
And there are a lot of private schools and a lot of government schools, but the number of graduates, like especially the graduates that turn out from the public schools are more than that of the private schools.
Yeah.
Yet still, the infrastructure in the private school is more than that of the public school.
In private school, it's better than
public school.
Yeah, definitely.
You get it. Yeah, and I feel like much more work could be done in the public school.
I feel like much more work could be done even in private schools.
Yeah, but I think the private schools they are much better
because they can take more money. Because usually, like in Jamaica, the public schools, they don't the money that they take, they take. Because even if they say it's free education, you still pay some fee, something. But the private school can give you a larger tuition. You get me? And they can do more.
Yeah, but I think that if I have a good job and I could pay, I would rather pay to go to a private school.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And it's not everyone who could afford.
But I feel like the public schools sometimes is better than the private school. Sometimes.
Yeah, in Ghana, the only part when public school is better than private school is in the senior high level. Senior high level.
Yeah.
That one, public schools are much more better than the private ones. You get it. But from primary to JHS, I feel like the private schools are much more better because in the public schools, the numbers are more than the infrastructure. So you find a lot of people, like 80 people in a class, 60 people in a class.
80?
Yeah, 40 people, 30, 40, 50, 60 in a class. But in private schools, you find some maximum 30, 40. When I was about to complete JHS, we were only 7 in class.
Well, when I was going to school, it's about 30 in class.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were only 7. 7.
At what?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Which school?
Junior high school.
Middle
of Grace Montessori. That's why I completed school. We were only 7.
7.
Yeah. So the public schools, we need more public schools. And the quality, even though the government is doing so much, like it's free education, they give them, I think, free uniforms.
We even have,
and all that.
When I was going to high school, you could get like lunch tickets. Like they have this thing called PATH
program.
You could get tickets and you get free food.
It's like that also in Ghana.
Yeah.
But you find out that maybe sometimes the quality of the food is not so much up to standard.
The quality was okay because you were getting the same lunch as everybody else.
I'm talking about Ghana public school.
Public.
Yeah, public school. You get it. You have free lunch, but the quality of the rice, the quality of the food, it's not up to that. You get it. Even though it is free, but the quality. Even though the classrooms are good, but you find out that there's so many people in the classrooms. You get it. Yeah. So and the government is putting in a lot of money at the public sector.
And not to mention the classroom, them hot. Because we rely on fun.
Hot, you will have fun. Yeah. So private schools are much better than government schools, but in the senior high level, a lot of people would want to go to government schools because a lot of the government schools they have the quality, in terms of discipline, in terms of academic standard. Most of the best students are coming from the government schools as compared to the private ones.
Right now, a lot of teachers are actually running away from teaching in Jamaica because let's say you have 30 kids, just one teacher having to manage them. The kids are naughty. You can't whip them like how you are getting caned.
We're getting caned.
Yeah, we're getting caned. So what kind of punishment are you, or what kind of classroom management technique can you do to manage 30 to 40 kids, you know, still produce good information, quality information to the students with limited resources and little pay? Because the salary for teachers in Jamaica is not much, which is why a lot of them are trying to leave for better, you know. So that is something that we definitely need to work on.
So are there more private schools than government in Jamaica?
I don't know, but I would say, I'm not sure, don't quote me on it, but I would say we have more public, because you have schools, for example, my school, we would say it's partially private. So you might find schools that are private but partially funded by the government. So you wouldn't classify them as fully private. So, and that's why I would lean towards we having more public schools.
In Ghana, there are more private schools than public schools, but the number of students in the public schools are more than that of the private schools.
Yeah, because some people cannot afford.
Yeah, so and a chunk of that's why I'm saying that the government is still working on to push a lot of, that's why I say much more money is supposed to be pushed to the public schools, because more of the population of the country's population is going to the public schools because it is much more affordable. I wish my children would go to school in Ghana
and
up to senior high school level.
You know, for students who were not disciplined, like the punishment did not work for them, those are students where it doesn't matter the punishment that you give them, it will not work. Just like you say, there are students who their name was on the chatting list every time. They would get whipped every time. So the discipline was there, but it still didn't work for those students. You get me? So it's just like us. Our discipline seem more nice, more pleasant to you, but that doesn't mean that it didn't work for who it's supposed to work for. Students who punishment shouldn't work for, I think it will never work for them. You know?
Yeah, those students, there were few.
Those students, they exist everywhere you go. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. In the comments, you can definitely share your opinions, your experience with us about what it was like when you were going to school. If you have a student who is now going to school in Jamaica or Ghana, you can let us know if things have changed since we went to school back then. See you in the next video. Bye.